left under these circumstances, quote unquote, stop the killing. And that's their idea of a foreign policy, with no consideration whatsoever to, Israel's strategic interest or even vital security interest. We've all talked to friends living over there who have been living over there under these Hamas rocket attacks. And, for Israelis, it's kind of akin to the London Blitz. You're working, suddenly all the sirens go off, and they know the rockets are incoming. You just hope it doesn't hit where you're working or where you're living. And the extent to which this gets suppressed while we have to bleed for Hamas is it's beyond moral equivalence, Steve. It's kind of a moral collapse on the part of the quote unquote world community.
And one other piece here. Yesterday I had Bill Richardson on, of all people, who said that he wishes the United Nations human rights people would leave Israel alone and go after the persecution of Christians. He also said our State Department needs to do more of that on the persecution of Christians. I mean, it's more than persecution. It's genocide in Iraq at this point, Mosul and other places.
Yeah.
And here again, you have a Christian in the White House who hasn't said boo about it, and it's been going on for years in all parts of the world.
Yeah. Well, to be crudely political about it, Barack Obama is a man of the left. The progressive left in the United States. And they do not want the United States to be engaged or committed anywhere in the world, because that, in their mind, elevates and legitimizes the idea of spending federal money on national security or defense. They've been trying very hard to reduce the defense budget, been trying that for about 30 years. And they want Barack Obama to cut that defense spending and reprogram it into domestic spending, subsidies for Obamacare, and stuff like that. And so he just is not going to put his foot anywhere in the world that would cause the United States to feel that we ought to increase our spending on national security, which obviously we should.
I agree, but I'll tell you one thing. He'd be speaking about it day in and day out if it were Christians, forcing Muslims to convert at the threat of a sword. We'd be hearing about it in the media. We'd be hearing about it from this administration non-stop. At least that's what I think. Anyway, Daniel, always great to talk to you. An honor for me to have you on the show. Thank you, sir.
Great to talk to you, Steve.
Take care. Daniel Henninger, ladies and gentlemen. We're coming back with the Malzberg panel, so don't you go away.
Smile.
No matter how well you provide for your family today, if you don't have life insurance, their future may be at risk. Think about what would happen if you were gone. Would they struggle to pay the bills and face an uncertain future? They don't have to. You can help guarantee those you love $200,000, $500,000, $750,000 or more with life insurance through AIG Direct. We'll help you get more for your money, up to 70% more. Just look, less than $14 a month buys a 40-year-old man a $250,000 term life policy. That's up to 3 times what you can get from other companies for the same price. No wonder millions of people rely on AIG companies. The call is free, the quote is free, and there's no obligation. Make the future more secure for those you love. Call now so you can sleep better at night.
For a free quote, call 1-800-558-5246 or visit AIGdirect.com.
The first time I heard the word grandma, what? At my age? No way. But then you hold him in your arms, and everything changes. This is my first grandchild, Stephen, and I want to be a part of his life for a long, long time. But you can't take care of your family until you take care of yourself.
And now with Fast 5 from Nutrisystem, you can lose weight fast. Lose 5 pounds your first week or your money back, guaranteed.
Nutrisystem helps me do just that. I lost 50 pounds, and I feel great.
Order your 28-day My Weight plan right now, and we'll rush you the Fast 5 free. You'll get 1 week of fantastic energizing shakes to rev your metabolism, 1 week of delicious Craving Crusher shakes to crush those cravings, plus 1 week of meals absolutely free.
Grandma? Yeah, I can own that. I'm a grandma. Don't wait. Call Nutrisystem today.
Start losing weight today.
Call now, 877-316-SIZE, and lose your first 5 pounds free.
Now on Newsmax TV, is Obama secretly trying to stop Hillary's presidential plans? Best-selling author Ed Klein has the latest details on Midpoint with Ed Berliner. Go now to Newsmax TV. politics, commentary, entertainment, sports, news, and opinion now. Here is Steve Malzberg.
The reset worked. It was an effort to try to obtain Russian cooperation on some key objectives while Medvedev was president, and of course Putin still pulled the strings, but he gave Medvedev a certain amount of independence to negotiate, number one, a new arms control treaty, which was absolutely necessary. We brought Russia around to understanding why we thought there needed to be international sanctions against Iran.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, Hillary Clinton saying that the reset worked. Remember when she gave the reset button to the foreign minister of Russia back in March of 2009? We want to reset the relationship. And now she claims it worked. It seems like it worked to me. Everything's cool with Russia, right? Oh, boy. Time for the Malzberg panel. Criminal defense attorney Janet Johnson and senior partner and owner of the law offices of Adam M. Thompson. That would be Adam M. Thompson. Hey, guys. So let me ask you first, Janet. What do you make of Hillary saying that the reset worked?
Yeah, it reminds me of Bush saying he looked in Putin's eyes and saw his soul, right? Weren't they like having a bromance too? I mean, I think everybody hoped that Putin wouldn't be as evil as it turns out he was. And Hillary in 2012 said, after Putin ascended to the presidency again, we're going to have to rethink this. So I think she was with the majority of the world at that point thinking Putin is taking a back seat. We can deal with Medvedev, and then Putin is now back in control again, and the president's alone trying to sanction him, and Europe is still kissing up to him.
Well, Adam, how is she going to, square this when a Republican presidential candidate says and plays that in a commercial that not only the reset, giving the reset button to the foreign minister, but then fast forward to yesterday in the midst of all this and say that the reset worked?
Well, she'll probably press another reset button. That's what politicians do. One reset after another. I mean, listen, just take the initial statement. If everyone honestly believed Putin was pulling the strings behind the curtain, then you really were dealing with Putin the whole time, and you should have always had policy in place that addressed dealing with Putin the entire time. Now we're left with the situation that we presently have. Putin's in control as he always was, and he's slowly taking control over neighboring and bordering countries. And this is going to get scary in a very quick and fast way.
All right, let's move to Israel, where the Israeli cabinet has unanimously rejected the ceasefire put forth by John Kerry, which called for 7 days of humanitarian cessation of hostilities. Now, I think what's very interesting here, Adam, is that not only did the conservatives, the hawks in the cabinet, say no way, they all said no way. I think this is very telling. They're not going to reward Hamas for what Hamas has done.
I'm glad. I'm so sick of all the rhetoric out there that's trying to put blame on Israel. They're a country defending themselves. We would do no less. Bombs are pouring in daily into this country, and they're just doing what any nation would do, protect its people. Hamas is using people in the Gaza Strip as shields for their operations. Who doesn't know this? Who isn't figuring this out? And if you're not, it's because your head's in the sand and you just want to ignore reality. That's the bottom line. So no ceasefire. Just gives Hamas time to prepare. Period.
So I agree with that, and I think having elections when they did and getting Hamas in control, I mean, it's like having the KKK run our government. Who's going to respect us? The problem for Israel, though, is it is a PR nightmare, and the world is siding with the Palestinians. So they do have to do something to get back some of the visuals, and I think what they said is right. Netanyahu was right. There are sort of telegenic appeal for what's happening in the Gaza Strip, and the Palestinians are using it smartly to their advantage. Israel does have to change that narrative because they are dealing with people who don't want them to exist. And
but again, how do you change that narrative when the media is going to cover it the way they do? We all know what's going on there. Hamas is a terrorist organization that basically is running an area in a country. So you have to put a stop and an end to them. How do you do that without getting bad PR because where you need to attack them is where they're hiding amongst the population and they're covered in plain sight. So it's going to be bad PR.
Right. Why are their children playing on a beach in the middle of a war? They're not playing on the beach. I mean, that whole narrative, yes, I agree with that. But they are, reaching out. They're telling their enemy when they're going to bomb them. Nobody does that. But that has to be reported. I mean, we're talking about it, so that is a start. But you're right. They do have to get some momentum behind them and some sympathy. If the world understood that they're negotiating with people who wanted to wipe them off the face of the earth, that's not a negotiation. That's a non-starter. People don't seem to be hearing that narrative. They're hearing Palestinians are being, treated brutally. That has to be fixed in the media.
Well, yeah, the problem is that'll never change. Certainly internationally, that'll never change. And even here in America. I mean, if you watch the coverage, I watched last night and I tweeted out immediately when the Israeli ambassador just schooled. He took Erin Burnett to school and said, when you talk about any deaths in Gaza, you need to always say that specifically they were talking about the UN shelter, that in two UN-run schools, they found rockets. This, not Israelis saying it, these are established facts. And then the UN found the rockets and gave them back to Hamas. And he said, if you don't say that on every single news report that you're reporting on about the Gaza and about the conflict, then you're doing a disservice and you're slanting the coverage and you're not treating your viewers with the proper respect. She was speechless.
Right. Well, but Hamas is their government. So it's like saying, why won't you negotiate with Al-Qaeda? Well, because Al-Qaeda attacked us. You wouldn't negotiate with people who attacked you either. The IRA, before they were, reformed, before they became the new IRA, who's going to negotiate with people who are blowing up royal people? I mean, it's an unreasonable position to start with, but the world has bought it. And a ceasefire would at least maybe give Israel a chance to say, all right, now we're going to get, some aid to these children. The children, it's not their fault that they live with terrorists.
But the problem is that
a ceasefire is not going to accomplish anything, Steve. We all know this. The bottom line is this. Janet touched on it. We would never negotiate with a terrorist group that we're at war with. This has been life in Israel. They're dealing with a terrorist organization that has one goal: the obliteration of Israel and the Jewish state.
Adam, stay where you are, and Janet, stay where you are. And I'd like to think you're right, Adam. But with this administration, I could see Al-Qaeda at the table. I see Iran at the table, so I don't see much of a difference. Stay where you are. We're coming back with part 2. But your Newsmax Now updates next.
Looking for a home loan? Welcome to PennyMac, one of America's leading mortgage lenders, where all we do are home loans. PennyMac offers a neighborhood of home loan options. First-time buyers? Call PennyMac for some low down payment options as low as 3.5%. Looking for an FHA loan, jumbo loan, VA loan, or conventional loan? Call PennyMac. Want to refinance to save money? Yep, call PennyMac. Home underwater? PennyMac offers a government-sponsored HARP program that can help you reduce your interest rate. So if you're thinking home loans, PennyMac leads the pack with low rates week in and week out, so you know you're going to save money and get a fast closing. So call PennyMac now. We're probably helping some of your neighbors with their loans, and we're ready to help you too. Call the experts in home loans in the next 10 minutes to get a free $50 Home Depot gift card. Call 800-424-1956. 800-424-1956. 800-424-1956.
Technology gives you security. Technology gives you control. And now, technology gives you home security and control in a new and revolutionary way. Introducing Plug and Protect from LiveWatch Security, an easy-to-use wireless security system customized just for your home, controlled from any smartphone, tablet, or computer, and monitored by professionals 24/7. Go to livewatch.com to get Plug and Protect interactive security delivered to your door. Arm or disarm your system from anywhere. Lock or unlock your doors. Turn your lights off or on. Even oversee your home with live video. With Plug and Protect, your security system is configured, tested, and then shipped directly to your home. No wires, no installers, just peel and place. Go to LiveWatch.com because with Plug and Protect, we customize your security to fit your home. The Plug and Protect secret is technology. With technology, you buy airline tickets without a travel agent. You trade stocks without a stockbroker. Now, with Plug and Protect, you can protect your home without an installer, pushy salesman, or a long contract.
Every day, the kids got out of school before I left work. I worried whether they were home okay. But then I found Plug and Protect from LiveWatch. And now I see when they open the front door, so I know they're home safe. LiveWatch helps me stay in touch and in control.
Founded by a paramedic in Kansas, serving tens of thousands of homes in all 50 states, and trusted by policemen and firemen throughout the country, LiveWatch is the new choice for home security. No door-to-door salespeople, no messy installers, no long-term contracts, just plug and protect. Now you too can enjoy the home security and control you want for your family. Try Plug and Protect in your home for a full 90 days. Included is our hassle-free guarantee. Go to LiveWatch.com. Plug and Protect is not available in stores, so go to LiveWatch.com right now. That's LiveWatch.com.
Welcome back. I'm Francesca Page, and here's your Newsmax Now update. A top advisor to President Obama was a no-show when the House Oversight Committee met earlier today. The White House ignored a congressional subpoena for the second time by keeping one of its top political aides from testifying. David Seamus, the White House political director, left members of Congress hanging as they tried to determine whether or not the White House improperly used taxpayer dollars for political fundraising.
Mr. Seamus was invited to testify to give committee members and the American people an opportunity to hear from the head of an office that has, under several previous administrations, misused government resources for political purposes.
And an Israeli Security Council has decided to reject Secretary of State John Kerry's peace plan. The failed ceasefire agreement comes after airstrikes hit 30 targets inside the Gaza Strip earlier today. Hamas militants continue to launch rockets at Israel. Officials say Hamas is using Gaza civilians as human shields. That's your Newsmax Now update. Now back to the Steve Malzberg Show.
All right, folks, we're back with part two of the Malzberg panel. Criminal defense attorney Janet Johnson and attorney Adam Thompson. All right, let's talk about immigration right now. And there's a report out there that Barack Obama may be planning to grant a special status to children from Honduras to allow them to come to this country without having to trek through Mexico and to be given sanctuary here in the U.S. I mean, this is just more insanity, and how he would do this is by picking up his pen and signing it into law. Adam, I mean, this man will stop at nothing to accomplish his goal, and obviously getting as many people into this country from other countries is his goal.
You mean he's going to do another executive order, Steve? Another executive order? I mean, listen, I don't know where it starts, where it ends. I mean, the bottom line is this: you want to protect young children and their safety, but bringing them in from Honduras, I understand if there's some political situation going on there and their lives are in danger and they were to flee and escape, we would hopefully try to offer them some sanctuary here and protect them. But just to say we're going to pick them up and bring them over, this gets a little askewed at this point.
Janet?
This is Bush's law. That's exactly what this is. Bush's law made a preference for Mexican children. This just equals the playing field. But it's the law Bush signed and that was unanimously passed, saying children who are victims of sex trafficking. Is that what you don't want those children to get to come to America? This has
nothing to do with sex trafficking. I'm reading here from the New York Times, and it says that he's considering whether to allow hundreds of minors and young adults from Honduras into the U.S. without making the dangerous trek. If approved, it would direct the government to screen thousands of children and youths in Honduras to see if they can enter the U.S. as refugees on emergency humanitarian grounds. It has nothing to do with sex trafficking.
It does.
Right,
that's
my
emergency
understanding, Steve.
grounds.
Wait, Janet, one at a time. Janet, go.
That's one of the emergency humanitarian grounds. I mean, it's not just because you don't like it in Honduras. That's not considered an emergency humanitarian ground. That is one of them. Abuse, being a political refugee, those are emergency grounds. And all that says is they don't have to walk through Mexico and risk death. I don't know how we can object to that. How do you turn that into a bad thing?
Adam, well, I'll tell you, Adam, I mean, first of all, this is, wait, Adam, let me just say that they would elevate Honduras to the level of Haiti and Vietnam, where such programs have been conducted in the past amid war and major crisis. Again, this has nothing to do with sex trafficking per se. And you know what? Hey, too bad we can't get every child from Gaza into this country, too. And every place where there's slavery in Africa and starvation, let's get every one of those kids in here, too, right? Everybody.
But that's the Wilson Doctrine. I mean, that's our hemisphere. This is our hemisphere. This is our continent.
Oh, it's our responsibility because it's our hemisphere. Go ahead, Adam.
I was going to say, Steve, I think you hit the nail on the head. There's lots of children worldwide that need help, and how you figure out who to bring over and who you give priority to. Once you give priority to one group over another, there's going to be a million other people screaming out, why do they get preference over this group? The bottom line is everybody wants to help children. If the children of Honduras are obviously victims of horrific criminal acts, we're going to do everything we can to protect them. How we implement that to make it work and fair, that's what the question really is, and that's what needs to be addressed.
All right, we're going to have to end it on that note, guys and ladies. I appreciate it. Janet Johnson and Adam Thompson, thank you both very much. Have a great weekend.
You too.
You too, Steve. Always a pleasure.
All right, folks, and we'll be back with the associate editor for hotair.com, Noah Rothman, and more of the Steve Malzberg Show. You know it, you love it. But first, this hour's American Moment, we take a look back at General MacArthur's invasion of Inchon.
On September 15, 1950, General of the Army and Commander-in-Chief of the United Nations Forces, Douglas MacArthur, launched a surprise amphibious attack against the Communist North Korean Army at the Bay of Incheon in South Korea. Approximately 3 months earlier, the North invaded South Korea and soon captured its capital, Seoul. MacArthur, against the advice of his military advisors, chose Incheon for his counterattack. The move was risky. Incheon was heavily fortified, and American soldiers would face towering cliffs on its beaches. His maneuver caught the enemy completely by surprise. MacArthur quickly cut the North Korean army in half as their beleaguered army hastily beat a retreat north. For the moment, the government of South Korea had been